All right, guys. Well, hello and welcome. We have just learned that Malcolm Roach has been extended by the Broncos. So I'm going to find the total terms for you guys on Twitter right here, right now. So hold on. Let me share my screen real quick. As always, if you guys are watching on the replay, make sure you leave a like if you enjoy, subscribe if you're not already. You always wait till the end. Hopefully, I'll read it. And yeah, so there are a lot of people reporting this deal. Tom Pelissero was on it first. Broncos and Malcolm Roach have agreed on a 3-year contract extension worth up to $29.25 million with $14 million guaranteed. Sources tell Tom Pelissero and Ian Rappaport as well. Another core player locked up. This comes like 18 or 19 hours after we locked up Luke Wattenberg as well. And yeah, overall, here's what everyone's saying. Like, if you want to see what everyone's saying, let's go to the Sleeper Broncos account. And yeah, let's go over here. Re-signed the whole defense and forced Vance Joseph to stay. Agreed. You know, we're locked and loaded for a run, guys. All right. Zach Stevens obviously reporting the same thing. Big contract for an important Bronco. And unfortunately, I think this Ignacio Gonzalez guy is right. So does this mean that John Franklin Myers isn't getting re-signed? Probably. And yeah, this is huge. What if they pulled off a JFM signing also? You know, glue guy, Savion Jones adding 10 pounds over the offseason. Roach has been balling, so George Payton knocking it out of the park. So this fan base is pretty excited about this move, and they should be. You know, John Franklin Myers or Malcolm Roach is one of the core guys on this team. 3 more guys of Malcolm Roach. Everybody's super excited right now. And I did want to point this out by Luke Evans. I did want to full screen this too. Broncos defensive line now. Zach Allen locked up through 2029. DJ Jones locked up through 2027. Malcolm Roach locked up through 2027. Yumal Wazarike locked up through 2026. So Wazarike actually did lose a year of his contract because of the fact that he was involved in that little situation back in 2023. So he lost a year of his contract, which means we still have 1 more year of team control. So I feel bad for him, but maybe I don't, because you got to be smarter in those situations. But I honestly thought Roach would have been expendable with the play of Wazarike, but it seems like this team really wanted to lock up Roach. Yeah, so Savion Jones locked up through 28, Benito locked up through 29, Cooper locked up through 28 as well. You'll notice the one guy who is not locked up through any time period is John Franklin Myers. And unfortunately, I think that means he's kind of on the outs here. Okay. I think it means that John Franklin Myers is not going to get re-signed by this team. And I'm going to show you why here pretty soon. But here we go. Cody Rourke, another nice little tweet. Broncos brain trust of Sean Payton and George Payton are taking care of their core pieces. Malcolm Roach, DJ Jones, PS2, Benito Cooper, Zach Allen, Quinn, Miners, Bowles, Wattenberg, Sutton, all receiving deals in the past 2 years. So what's crazy is that a lot of people had us as one of the least talented teams in the NFL not too long ago. I think last summer, you know, people were touting us as one of the least invalid teams in the NFL. Well, what happened since then? Roach breakout. DJ Jones gets extension. Surtain, Defensive Player of the Year. Benito and Cooper both elevate their game to new heights. Zach Allen becomes one of the game's best interior defensive linemen. Miners becomes one of the best guards in football, too. Bowles, like, potentially a protector of the year. Cortland Sutton, 1,000 yards. So I'm thinking about this team, and, you know, it's clear that if you play well here, you will get rewarded. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts. If you play well for the Denver Broncos, you are going to get rewarded with a contract extension, and that's absolutely awesome. So I'm trying to think. There was something else I was going to show you guys. Oh, yeah. I think it's a little interesting that they both came so close apart because, oh, yeah, also Will Lutz has not been Will Lutz was not mentioned on here, as mentioned by my boy, Nick Kendall. Go check him out if you have not already. But, you know, Malcolm Roach, Nate Landman on the Rams, Alex Wright, and Luke Wattenberg have all been extended. So let's go to PFF real quick. So I don't know why the grades are so low. Like, Malcolm Roach has clearly been an impactful dude with our run defense this year. And I think you guys saw what our run defense looked like without him the first 5 weeks. You saw what we looked like without him against the Colts in particular. And our run defense was bad that game. You also saw what our run defense looked like without him against the Chargers. And once again, I think our defensive line played pretty well that game. But yeah, you can chalk that up to Malcolm Roach potentially missing time because Marion Hampton went over 100 scrimmage yards. So then he comes back against the Jets and instantly was an impact player. All right. You know, 73.5 against the Jets, 74.9 against the Giants. I don't know why the grade is so low against the Cowboys. Maybe the missed tackles. Maybe it's because he had a couple missed tackles. But at the end of the day, I don't really care about the missed tackles for an interior defensive lineman unless you have a guy in the backfield and you just flat out whiff. We rely on swarm tackles with our run defense so well, and also I think we rely on swarm sacks too. So I don't really care about the charting him with missed tackles or whatever. But at the end of the day, here's what else we have. So played really well against Houston. I think that tracks. It says he didn't play well against the Raiders. I just don't agree with that at all. 61.8 coverage grade as well. Once again, 35 snaps against the Chiefs. All right, 55 run defense grade. All right, so looking at the PFF stats, I don't know why they've graded him so low. Like, they have a tendency to grade our interior defensive line really low. But either way, Roach is clearly a very valuable guy on this team as far as run stuffing. And let me check. I'm going to pull up some film real quick. All right, here we go. So, shout out to Frankie's Film. I'm going to show you a couple nice little clips that we have of Malcolm Roach right here. Okay, look, Malcolm Roach right here. A gap, boom, sheds two guys, Scatterboo in the backfield. All right. Malcolm Roach takes on another double team and is able to meet Tyrone Tracy at the line of scrimmage. Malcolm Roach gets the New York Jets, gets double teamed, no problem. Let's see what we've got against the Raiders. Like, this guy is just so good. Doesn't give away any ground. Honestly, he looks like more of a wrestler than anything else. Yeah. So either way, I'm going to over the cap right now, and this is going to be an example of what a lot of people are going to be looking at when they're projecting our cap space going into next year. So it's a big thing to note that this does not include the guys who are recently extended. So this does not include Lutz. This does not include Wattenberg. This does not include Roach either. So we have $49 million in cap space going into next year, but that number's dwindling. I imagine that number's like more around 30, 35 once it's all said and done, and once we're actually in March or April. We could make moves by moving on from guys like Powers, even though I don't think it's worth, $10 million in dead money. I just don't think it's worth it. We could move on from McGlinchey too. That's another one where I'm just like, man, I just don't see why it would be worth it to do so. Let's see. Any other moves that we can make to potentially open up some cap space? I mean, you could potentially cut Drew Sanders, but I don't know. I'm not really a big fan of that idea yet. But yeah, so if you're looking at the cap space for this team, one thing you'll note is that I don't think John Franklin Myers feasibly is going to get re-signed by this team. I think, unfortunately, he is on the outs here. I think John Franklin Myers is going to be, one of those guys that's not going to get re-signed by this team. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, the Broncos just happen to be really deep at their interior defensive line. And I think JFM is on the outs simply because I think he'll be too expensive. I think his role is way too expensive for what this team has in the pipeline waiting. Like, obviously we have I'm going to go back to PFF and pull up Savion Jones. So we have Savion Jones in the pipeline ready to take over, and we shouldn't be expecting Savion to be as good as JFM, but especially in year one. But here we go. Savion Jones has only played one game against the Cincinnati Bengals, but I'm going to go back to college. His college stats. All right. So Savion Jones was a guy who could clearly get after the quarterback. 43 total pressures his final year at LSU. 6'6", 280. Traded up back into the third round to select him after we selected Pat Bryant with our first third-round pick. And, yeah, overall had really good production. Honestly, I thought his pass defense was better than his his run defense. But we'll see. Had 9 pressures against Oklahoma. That's absolutely awesome. Yeah, either way, this is what we've got going on here. If you guys are curious to see where he's lined up, I mean, why don't they sort by edge and why don't they sort by? Oh, there we go. Oh, yeah, they do. All right, yeah, Savion Jones played a lot of edge when he was at LSU, but now if you look at him being over tackle, 121 snaps last year, so he was like supposed to be a big edge, or at least that's what he played when he was at LSU. But a lot of teams, or I remember reading scouting reports saying that he didn't have the strength to play inside. But yeah, this is just related to me saying that I don't think we are going to have JFM and Savion Jones on this team next year. I think it's just going to be strictly Savion Jones. But yeah, either way, I'm super excited. I'm super excited that they got Malcolm Roach locked up. And you guys should be too. You guys should be too. I'm going to get to a few of your comments here real quick. Let's go back to YouTube. Actually, it looks like there are no comments for me to get to. Perfectly fine. Maybe I'll just go back to 2024 with Malcolm Roach. All right. So, yeah, you can see he played his best football in the middle of the year. And once again, he completely added something to our run defense that we saw that I thought was missing. 26 total pressures last year, which is crazy. I think, yeah, the part that's really underrated about his game is his pass rush. Like, he does provide some push from the pocket on the interior defense. Love me some Roach. Me too, Coach Chris. Me too, Coach Chris. JFM is a solid guy, but the demand is way too high. His demand is way too high, unfortunately. Like, I think he gets at least $20 million a year in free agency, and we are just not in a position to offer him that. But yeah, and then we go back to this past. Actually, let's look at how he did before he came here. Like, I don't know how we were able to sign him for like $4 million a year back in the 2024 offseason, but 24 run stops in 2023, and then let's go back to 2025. All right, 9 run stops, and once again, that was with him, having that calf injury, and he's been relatively durable throughout his time here. Roach has been relatively durable throughout his time here, so yeah, that basically does it for me. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, and I'm going to get out of here, but let me know how you guys are feeling about this. Peace. All right, one more thing. Only issue with Savion is his lack of size. Truth be told, Sean loves the hybrid line. Look at Benito, who's not your prototypical edge rusher. This is true. Like, I would say Savion does have lack of size on the interior, but he'll add 10 pounds this offseason. And then worst case scenario, you could just kick him out and have a 6th edge on your team, a big edge, if you play against a physical offensive line. But yeah, so that basically does it for me. Thank you, Coach Chris, for chilling with me in the comment section, and I will see you guys later. Peace.